The rain hammered down on the Nevada test site's steel roof, a relentless thudding that rattled the bones of the SpaceX hangar like a drumroll before a fight. Elon Musk stood alone on the launch platform, boots planted firm, his shadow slicing sharp across the wet concrete as lightning cracked the sky beyond the glass dome. The air hung heavy with the bite of ozone and scorched alloy, a smell that clung to his damp jacket and stung his nose with every breath. His tablet glowed faint in his grip, a low buzz humming through his fingers. Data streaming live from Starship X-17, its sleek hull towering 50 feet away, pulsing with a restless whine as its engines warmed. Tonight was the night. The first fully autonomous flight, guided by an AI he'd forged from scratch. A neural core so advanced it could think like a pilot, dream like a colonist, and steer humanity to Mars. Elon tilted his head back, rain streaking the dome above, blurring the crimson glow of a desert sunset into a bruised smear. His breath fogged in the chill, a faint puff against the storm's roar, and his mind churned. Numbers, code, trajectories spinning wild behind his eyes. This wasn't just a test. It was a leap, a gamble, the kind he'd built his life on. 25 years ago, rain like this had soaked him to the bone when he'd first crossed paths with Zane Carver. Back when they were just two broke kids with oversized dreams and not a dime to split between them. It was MIT 1998, a downpour so fierce it turned the campus into a muddy swamp. Elon, all elbows and awkward strides, had been sprinting late to a circuits lab, books clutched tight to his chest, when he'd slammed into Zane, shorter, scrappy, built like a boxer with a grin that could charm a brick wall. "Watch it, Brainiac." Zane had snapped, shaking water from his buzzed hair, but his laugh broke through fast, warm, and rough. "This way, shortcut," he'd said, nodding to a maintenance hatch half hidden by a dumpster. Elon followed, ducking through the dark, dripping tunnel, boots splashing loud in puddles, until they stumbled into class, sopping wet, 5 minutes late instead of 20, grinning like they'd cracked some cosmic code. Zane was chaos, where Elon was order, brash, quick-tempered, a gearhead from a nowhere Nevada town who could fix anything with a wrench and a curse. Elon was the quiet one, lost in theories, sketching rocket dreams on napkins while Zane patched the holes in his plans. They clicked, two sides of a busted coin, sharing a dorm with a sagging roof that leaked every storm. "You're the big picture guy," Zane said years later, sprawled on a SpaceX catwalk under a sky thick with stars, grease smudged on his cheek from a long shift. "I'm the one who makes the damn thing work." Elon smirked, leaning on the rail, the desert wind tugging at his shirt. "Remember that dorm? The night the power cut out and we rigged a generator from a lawnmower?" Zane laughed, a loud bark that echoed off the steel. "How could I forget? Nearly set the place on fire. Good times. Broke as hell, but we had the stars in our heads. And now we're chasing him," Elon said, eyes glinting as he nodded to X-17, its hull catching the hangar lights in a cold shimmer. Everyone at SpaceX knew Zane's story. He'd been there from the jump, Zip 2, coding through caffeine-fueled nights until his hands shook. X.com, crunching numbers when the banks laughed them off. The first Falcon flops, wrench in hand as explosions lit the sky. When Elon cashed out big, he bought Zane a junkyard Harley, rusted, loud, perfect, replacing the pickup that coughed smoke every block. Rockets to space, Elon had said over a crackling phone line in 2002. "Real ones." Zane's reply was instant. "Hell yeah, when do I sign up?" 20 years later, Zane was his anchor, lead propulsion engineer, the guy who turned Elon's wild leaps into machines that flew. They'd survived 3 scrubbed launches, a near bankruptcy, and a dozen doubters who said Mars was a pipe dream. "Hey, space cadet." Zane's voice cut through the hangar's hum, boots stomping wet across the platform. He strode up, rain dripping from his cap, a grin splitting his craggy face. "You dreaming again?" X-17's waiting. Elon blinked, the storm slamming back into focus. "Just thinking how far we've climbed." Zane clapped his back, a hard smack. "And how high we're going. That AI's purring. Your baby's ready to soar." Elon tapped his tablet, screen flaring bright against the gloom. "Let's see it." 10 minutes later, they stood in a sealed control pod, a holographic grid flickering alive. X-17's neural core pulsing green, a web of code Zane had spent months tuning. "This is it," Elon said, voice low, electric. "Autonomous, Mars unlocked. No one else knows, not the board, not the feds." Zane's jaw tightened, eyes tracing the hologram's weave. "This is nuts, Elon. If it flies, we're not just hitting Mars, we're rewriting the game." "It's a beast," Elon agreed. But the sync's a nightmare, thrust NAV AI chatter. I need you on this, Zane. No one else. Zane grinned, punching his arm light. You know I'm in, always. Later, as they left the pod, rain lashing their backs, Zane slung an arm around Elon's shoulders, voice rough over the storm. What keeps us tight? 20 years, no cracks. Elon nodded, rain streaking his face. No cracks, never will be. Next morning, Elon woke to Zane's text, nailed the thruster sync, coming in early to run it. We've got this, brother. Elon grinned, classic Zane, always one step ahead, seeing the bolts Elon missed. At SpaceX, they were a machine, Zane barking fixes mid-meeting, Elon nodding silent, their shorthand a blur to the crew. They're one brain and two skulls, Ops lead Tara Hensley muttered, watching them tweak X-17's core in sync. Zane held the keys, Elon's plans, his fears, the neural core's secrets, a future dangling on his calloused hands. But Tara saw what Elon didn't. Zane was slipping. The Nevada test site buzzed under a sky bruised purple by dawn. The rain gone, but its damp chill lingering in the steel bones of the SpaceX hangar. Tara Hensley leaned against a workbench, the sharp clank of a wrench dropping nearby cutting through the hum of idling machinery. Her boots scuffed the concrete, gritty with sand blown in overnight, and the air carried a faint whiff of jet fuel and solder. Acrid, alive, the smell of rockets dreaming. Her tablet glowed faint in her hand, X-17's diagnostics scrolling steady, but her eyes weren't on the screen. They tracked Zane Carver across the hangar floor, his stocky frame weaving through text prepping the Starship's thrusters, a toolbox swinging heavy in his grip. Tara had been ops lead for 4 years, a wiry ex-NASA grunt with a buzz cut and a stare that could spot a loose bolt from 50 yards. She read the site like a battlefield, knew which engineers stayed late from grit and which hid screw-ups, tracked rival moves like a hawk scoping prey. And she knew Zane, his loud laugh that bounced off the walls, his late-night tinkering with a cigarette dangling unlit from his lips, his loyalty to Elon Musk etched into every grease-stained fingerprint he left on SpaceX's machines. He'd been there since the start, a fixture as solid as the rockets themselves. So when Zane started slipping, Tara saw it first. It began small, a week back, Zane slamming his workshop door shut mid-call, a hard thud that echoed odd against his usual open chaos. Normally, he'd leave it wide, barking orders over the grind of drills, his voice a rough beacon for the crew. Now the door stayed closed, a faint murmur seeping through, low, urgent, not the Zane she knew. Tuesday, she'd caught him skipping the crew lunch run. Zane, who loved holding court over burgers with the young techs, mentoring them with stories of Falcon 1's fiery flops. Instead, he'd vanished off-site, his Harley's growl fading into the desert haze, no word on where. Wednesday morning, Tara dropped a stack of X-17 thrust specs on his desk, the papers landing with a soft slap. Zane flinched, a quick jerk, his hand darting to minimize a screen. A blueprint, jagged and unfamiliar, not the Starship's sleek lines. Hey, Tara, he said, too fast, flashing that grin that didn't hit his eyes. Just messing with something for Elon, sensitive as hell. His voice rang hollow, a flat note in the hangar's hum, and Tara nodded slow, backing off. But her gut twisted, a cold knot she'd learned to trust from years of sniffing out trouble. That afternoon, she saw him in the stairwell, boots clanging loud on the metal steps as he pressed a phone tight to his ear. His voice hissed low, Spanish, sharp and clipped, a tongue he only used when pissed or hiding something. No te preocupes, lo tengo, he snapped, then froze as Tara rounded the corner, her shadow cutting across his path. He pocketed the phone fast, a faint click against his jeans. Old gearhead from Reno, he said, shrugging, but his grin was tight, forced. Tara smiled back, thin and wary, the knot tightening as she headed for the break room, coffee sloshing bitter in her cup. Thursday night, she stayed late. X-17's AI sync was glitching, a faint whine threading through the core's pulse on her tablet. The hangar was quiet, just the soft buzz of overheads and the distant growl of a sandstorm kicking up outside. Then she saw him, Zane at the secure server rack, hunched over a terminal, the screen's glow casting harsh shadows on his craggy face. His fingers flew fast, a sharp tap-tap cutting the stillness, downloading X-17 files, big chunks, neural core specs, onto a sleek black drive that glinted cold in his hand. He had clearance, sure, but the way his jaw clenched, the quick glance over his shoulder, it wasn't right. Tara froze in the shadows, breath held, the storm's howl masking her steps as she slipped away. Friday, she couldn't shake it. The hangar thrummed with prep, X-17's test loomed close, Elon's dream riding on every bolt, but Tara's mind was on Zane. She'd run ops for Elon since the Starlink rollout, earned his trust catching glitches no one else saw. She knew him too, his quiet intensity, the way he'd pace the platform lost in equations, trusting Zane to ground his wild leaps. They were a unit, Zane barking fixes mid-rant, Elon nodding silent, their rhythm a blur to the crew. Two halves of a damn rocket brain, she'd told a tech once, watching them troubleshoot a thruster jam in sync. Zane held the keys, Elon's files, his fears, the AI's secrets. If he was off, Elon needed to know. She knocked on Elon's office door, the sharp rap echoing off the glass. "Come in," he called, voice muffled, not looking up from his laptop. Code scrolling fast, X-17's green pulse reflected in his glasses. "Got a sec?" Tara asked, stepping in, the door clicking shut behind her. "It's about Zane." Elon's head snapped up, curiosity glinting sharp in his eyes. "Zane, what's up?" Tara shifted, boots scuffing the floor, the faint hum of the hangar seeping through the walls. "I'm probably jumping at shadows, but he's been weird. Shutting his door during calls, ditching crew time, downloading X-17 data late, big stuff, neural core files onto drives." Elon frowned, then laughed, a quick, sharp bark that bounced off the glass. "Zane? No chance. He's been my rock for 20 years. He'd take a bullet before screwing SpaceX." "I figured," Tara said fast, hands up. "Just thought you'd want to hear it." He leaned back, grinning faint, rain scars streaking the window behind him. "I trust him with everything, Tara. 3 scrubbed launches, broke as hell, doubters everywhere. He's solid, always has been." She nodded, forcing a smile, but the knot stayed cold and heavy. "You're right, sorry to bug you." "No sweat," Elon said, eyes back on his screen, fingers tapping quick. "Your ops, your job seeing ghosts. But Zane, he's my brother, nothing to worry about." Tara left, the door's soft thud sealing Elon's comm behind her, but doubt gnawed harder. That night, clocking out late, she saw Zane in the lot, his Harley idling rough, raindrops gleaming on its rusted frame. He handed a drive to a figure in a black sedan, tinted windows, rental plates, not local. Their voices cut low through the wind, a faint murmur lost to the storm's growl. Tara ducked behind a crate, scribbling the plate fast, NVX 8192, her pulse thumping loud in her ears. Saturday, she ran it, Shell Company, buried deep, but a thread tied it to Helios Corp, SpaceX's sharpest rival. The knot turned to ice. Zane wasn't just off, he was cracking, and Elon's dream hung in the balance. The Nevada test site sprawled under a sky gone flat and gray, the storm's last gasp spitting sand against the hangar's steel skin with a faint hiss. Tara Hensley stood at the edge of the control pod, the sharp clatter of a drop tool echoing from the X-17's prep crew below, their shouts swallowed by the low growl of the starship's idling systems. Her breath fogged faint in the chill, the air thick with the tang of hydraulic fluid and burnt wiring, a restless scent that clung to her jacket like a second skin. Her tablet buzzed soft in her hand, X-17's neural core diagnostics pulsing steady, but her eyes locked on Zane Carver. His stocky frame hunched over a thruster housing, wrench flashing quick in the hangar lights, a faint grunt escaping as he tightened a bolt. Tara had spent Sunday digging, the rental plate NVX 8192, traced to a Shell Company, a ghost trail winding back to Helios Corp, SpaceX's fiercest shadow. She'd kept it quiet, the knot in her gut growing colder, heavier, a warning she couldn't shake. For years running ops, she'd learned to trust that instinct. Caught a fuel leak on Falcon 9 once, saved a launch pad from going up in flames. Now it screamed Zane was off, and every move he made sharpened the edge. Monday, she'd watched him closer, his workshop door slamming shut again, a hard thud that rattled the frame, his voice leaking low through the crack, Spanish snapping fast. Está listo, tranquilo. Tuesday, he ditched the crew again, Harley roaring off into the dusk. No trace until midnight when he rolled back, eyes darting quick over his shoulder. Wednesday morning, Tara dropped a stack of X-17 sync logs on his desk, the papers hitting with a soft thump. Zane's head jerked up, a flicker of something, panic? Crossing his craggy face before the grin snapped on. "Hey, Tara, keeping me busy?" he said, voice too loud, fingers brushing a drive half hidden under a manual. She caught the screen's glow before he swiped it blank. Not X-17, something angular alien. "Just for Elon, top secret," he added, leaning back, but his laugh rang flat, a hollow clang against the hangar's hum. Tara nodded, slow, her boots scuffing back. but the ice in her gut spread. That afternoon, she tailed him, discreet, sticking to the shadows as he climbed the stairwell, phone pressed tight, his boots clanging loud on the steps. "No hay tiempo, lo necesitan ahora," he hissed, voice sharp, then cut off as Tara's shadow fell across the landing. He spun, pocketing it fast with a faint click, grin flashing. "Old Reno buddy, owes me a beer," he said, brushing past, but his shoulders stayed tight, a coil ready to snap. Tara let him go, her pulse thudding hard, the lie hanging thick in the stale air. Thursday night, the hangar dimmed. Most of the crew clocked out, leaving just the soft buzz of overheads and the distant moan of wind whipping sand against the dome. Tara stayed late, X-17's AI glitch nagging her tablet with a faint whine. She paced the server bay, double-checking logs, when Zane's shadow cut across the racks. Hunched again, terminal screen flaring green, fingers flying fast with a sharp tap-tap. X-17 files, neural core, thruster sync, streamed onto a black drive, its edge glinting cold as he yanked it free. His jaw clenched, eyes darting quick, a faint curse slipping under his breath as he shoved it in his jacket. Tara ducked behind a rack, heart slamming loud, the wind's howl masking her shallow breaths as he strode out, boots stomping hard toward the lot. She followed, quiet, sticking to the hangar's edge, the sand crunching soft under her soles. Zane's Harley growled alive, its rumble shaking the night as he peeled out, taillight a red smear in the dust. Tara grabbed her Jeep, keys jangling sharp in her trembling hand, and tailed him. Headlights off, keeping distance as he wove through the industrial sprawl. 20 minutes later, he pulled into a squat warehouse. Helioscorp's logo glinting cold under floodlights, a stark white slash on black steel. Zane climbed off, toolbox in hand, and met a suit tall, slick Jonas Ryk, Helioscorp's CEO, outside the bay doors. Their handshake was quick, firm, a faint laugh cutting the air as Zane passed the drive. Tara parked a block back, snapping pics through her windshield. Blurry, grainy, but clear enough. Zane Ryk the drive, a betrayal in pixels. Friday night, she stayed late again. X-17's test loomed, Elon's dream ticking closer, but her mind churned with Zane's moves. The hangar was a ghost town, just the faint hum of systems and the sharp tick of cooling metal. She heard voices, low, urgent, drifting from the test bay. Creeping close, she peered through a vent. Zane sat at a workbench with RYK and a third suit, laptops open, X-17's neural core glowing bright on screen, its green pulse mocking her. Papers sprawled across the table, specs, schematics, Elon's brainchild laid bare. Zane pointed, voice steady. Syncs the key. AI talks to itself, flies blind. RYK nodded, a faint chuckle escaping as he scribbled fast. Tara's hands shook, snapping pics through the slats, angled, rough, but damning. She bolted, boots scuffing quiet, and locked herself in her office, the doors click sealing her in with the truth. Her phone trembled in her grip as she dialed Elon, voicemail, his voice calm. "Leave it." The beep hit like a gunshot. "Elon, it's Tara. Zane's selling X-17 to Helios Corp. Pics prove it. He's in the test bay now with Jonas Ryk. Call me, please." A shadow loomed Zane outside her door, knuckles rapping sharp. "Tara, open up." His voice was low, tight, a grin plastered on as she cracked it. "Who are you calling this late?" "Elon, test updates," she lied, mouth dry, the phone hot in her palm. He stepped closer, eyes cold, grin fading slow. "Saw you sneaking around. Those pics you took? Delete M. Now." She stood tall, the desk's edge biting her hip. "No, Elon needs to know." Zane's face hardened, a faint hiss escaping his teeth. "You're digging a hole, Tara. Smart girls don't fall in M. Last chance." "I don't scare," she said, voice steady, hitting send on her backups, pics flying to her cloud. "He'll see the truth." Zane stared, a long beat, then turned, boots stomping hard down the hall, the hangar swallowing his echo. Tara locked the door, breath ragged, the storm's ghost rattling the dome above as proof burned bright in her hands. The Nevada test site lay hushed under a sky gone black and starless, the hangar's steel frame creaking faint as the last whispers of the storm faded into the desert night. Tara Hensley slumped at her desk, the sharp tick of a clock cutting through the silence, her office a dim cave lit only by the tablet's glow. Zane's betrayal frozen in grainy pics. Him with Jonas Ryk, X-17's neural core pulsing green on a Helios Corp screen. Her breath rasped harsh in the stillness, the air thick with the stale bite of coffee and solder, her jacket still gritty with sand from tailing Zane. The pics burned her eyes, proof she couldn't unsee, a knife twisting cold in her gut. She'd sent them to Elon's cloud, voicemail left, but no reply. His silence a weight heavier than the storm's roar. Saturday bled into Sunday, the hangar dormant, X-17's test looming like a shadow over the site. Tara didn't sleep, kept her phone close, jumping at every buzz, but it stayed quiet. She paced the lot at dawn, boots crunching sand, the air sharp with frost and jet fuel, replaying Zane's threat. Smart girls don't fall in M. His voice a low growl that echoed in her skull. Monday morning, she dragged herself in early, the crew trickling back, their chatter a faint hum against the hangar's steel pulse. Her desk held a note, Elon's scrawl, jagged and quick. Got your messages. Meet me with Zane. 10 a.m. keep it shut till then. Relief hit her hard, a hot rush melting the ice in her chest. He'd heard, he'd act. At 9:55, Zane strolled past her desk, toolbox swinging loose, his grin flashing quick as he nodded. Morning, Tara. Big day, huh? His voice was light, too easy, boots scuffing casual toward Elon's office. She watched him go, the knot tightening again. He didn't know she'd told, didn't know she'd caught him cold. At 10 sharp, Elon's Jeep rolled into the lot, tires grinding sand against asphalt, his lanky frame unfolding fast as he strode in, face set grim under the hangar lights. He caught Tara's eye through the glass wall, a quick nod cutting the air. Join us, he said, voice flat, brushing past her desk with a faint rustle of his jacket. Elon's office was a stark box, glass walls, steel desk, the hum of X-17's diagnostics seeping through from the pod next door. Zane lounged in a chair, legs crossed, grinning wide as Tara stepped in behind Elon, the door clicking shut with a soft thud. Morning, Tara, Zane said, voice smooth, leaning back like nothing weighed him down. Elon stayed silent, dropping into his seat, hands clasped tight on the desk, the tablet's glow reflecting sharp in his glasses. The air hung thick, jet fuel and tension, a faint buzz threading through from the hangar's pulse. Got your messages, Tara, Elon said finally, voice low, eyes locked on her. Show me. Zane's grin flickered, a faint twitch, but he held it. Tara handed Elon her tablet, fingers trembling slight as the pics flared up. Zane with RYK, X-17's core on screen, specs sprawled damning across the table. Friday night, she said, voice steady despite the thud in her chest. Zane met Jonas RYK in the test bay, Helioscorp CEO. They had X-17's neural core up, full specs. Elon studied the screen, face unreadable, the pic's glow casting harsh shadows on his jaw. He turned it slow to Zane. Explain this. Zane shrugged, a quick roll of his shoulders, grin holding fast. Not what it looks like, man. Jonas is an old MIT gearhead. Hit me up about AI safety, non-compete stuff. Was gonna loop you in today, didn't want to bug you over the weekend. His voice rolled smooth, a faint chuckle threading through, but his fingers tapped restless on his knee. In our test bay, Elon's tone sharpened, steel cutting the comm. With our neural core, full specs, on their screen, Zane leaned forward, elbows on his thighs, grin tightening. Meant to brief you post-test, scout their moves, you know? Get ahead of them. Didn't want to drag you in till I had something solid. Elon's eyes narrowed, the tablet's buzz swelling loud in the silence. Tara, stay, he said, then to Zane. She's got more. Let's hear it. Zane's grin faltered, a quick flash of teeth, but he nodded. Sure, lay it on me. Tara stepped up, the desk's edge biting her hip, her voice cutting sharp. Weeks now, closed doors, hushed calls in Spanish, skipping crew time. Thursday, I tailed you. Helioscorp warehouse, you with RYK, handing off a drive. Friday, test bay, same deal, X-17 laid bare. Zane laughed, a harsh bark that bounced off the glass. Tailing me, huh? You're a damn spy now? Elon, you buying this over 20 years, me and you? His voice rose, a faint crack splitting the bravado, hands gesturing wild. Elon stared, a long beat, then to Tara. Thanks, give us a minute. She nodded, stepping out, the door's soft thud sealing them in. Through the glass, Zane leaned forward, arms waving quick, words lost to the hangar's hum. Elon sat still, a statue carved from steel, just listening. 20 minutes later, Zane stormed out, boots stomping hard, avoiding her eyes as he blew past her desk, toolbox clanging loud against his thigh. Elon called her back, voice low through the door. Come in. She stepped inside, the air heavier now, his face pale but calm, hands flat on the desk. He convince you? She asked, quiet, the tablet's glow dimming slow. At first, Elon said, voice rough, eyes on the window, sand streaks glinting faint under the lights. Couldn't believe it, 20 years, Tara. Zane wouldn't stab me like that. Said he was digging dirt on Helioscorp, playing double agent. But those pics, he trailed off, a faint sigh escaping. I need proof, hard, cold proof. The pics, Tara pressed, leaning in, the chair creaking soft under her weight. Show a meet, not what he gave M, Elon said, tapping the tablet fast, a sharp ping cutting the air as he pulled up a blank file. He says it's recon. I don't know what to trust. So I'm setting a trap. His fingers flew, code streaming green. A fake X, 17 update, thruster sync tweak, flashy but flawed, a dud if built. This breakthrough bait. I'll tell only Zane. If it hits Helioscorp's servers, we've got him. Tara nodded, slow, the knot easing slight. Smart, when? Today, Elon said, voice firm, saving the file with a faint buzz. He's too smooth, too quick with excuses. I've got to know. Later, he called Zane back. Door shut, glass muffling their voices. Tara watched from her desk, Zane nodding fast, eyes glinting as Elon showed him the fake update, his grin wide again, excited. They clapped hands, a sharp smack echoing faint, Zane leaving with a spring in his step, toolbox swinging, oblivious to the noose tightening. Days ticked by. Tuesday, Zane normal, joking loud with the crew, wrench clanging as he tweaked X-17's hull. Wednesday, he brought Elon coffee, their laughs cutting through the hangar's hum, a mask Tara saw through. Thursday night, she stayed late, the trap's weight pressing her chest. The test loomed, Elon's dream on a razor's edge, and Zane's lie dangled close to snapping. The Nevada test site thrummed under a sky gone pale and brittle, the hangar's steel roof creaking faint as a dry wind scraped sand against the dome with a soft hiss. Tara Hensley leaned on a railing overlooking X-17's launch platform, the sharp clang of a wrench hitting concrete ringing out from the crew below, their shouts swallowed by the starship's restless hum. Engines warming, a low growl that vibrated up her boots. Her breath hung faint in the chill, the air sharp with jet fuel and static, a restless bite that clung to her jacket as she gripped her tablet, its buzz soft but steady. X-17's diagnostics holding green, the test ticking closer. Her eyes tracked Zane Carver, his stocky frame weaving through techs, toolbox swinging loose, a grin flashing quick as he barked a fix over the noise. Thursday night lingered in her skull. Zane's easy stride out of Elon's office, the fake X-17 update glowing on his screen, his laugh cutting the air as he clapped Elon's shoulder, oblivious to the trap snapping shut. Tara had stayed late, the hangar dimming to a ghost town, just the faint buzz of overheads and the wind's moan outside. She'd watched him, wrench clanking as he tweaked a thruster, coffee run with Elon, their rhythm smooth, a mask she couldn't unsee. The knot in her gut tightened. Every grin, every joke, a lie piling higher, and the test loomed, Elon's dream dangling on Zane's next move. Friday morning, the hangar pulsed alive, crew swarming X-17, the AI's whine threading sharp through the hum as final checks locked in. Tara stood at her desk, the sharp tick of a clock cutting the chaos, her tablet glowing with live feeds. Neural core steady, thrusters synced, Elon's vision primed to fly. Elon paced the platform below, lanky frame cutting sharp against the hull, his voice a low murmur lost to the noise, tablet buzzing faint in his hand. Zane worked beside him, wrench flashing quick, their shorthand a blur. 20 years of trust, cracking silent under Tara's watch. She'd barely slept. Wednesday, Zane normal, joking loud, coffee steaming as he handed Elon a cup, their laughs bouncing off the steel. Thursday, he'd stayed late, Harley growling off into the dusk, no trace, till midnight when he rolled back, eyes darting quick over his shoulder. The trap hung heavy, Elon's bait, a fake thruster tweak, flashy but flawed, fed only to Zane. If it hit Helioscorp's servers, the noose would tighten, and Tara's pics would burn true. Her phone stayed close, silent, Elon's comm a wall she couldn't breach. Midday, he called her in, voice sharp through the comms. Tara, my office now. She grabbed her tablet, boots stomping fast up the stairs, the hangar's hum fading as she pushed through the door with a soft thud. Elon stood at his desk, face ashen, hands flat on the steel, the tablet's glow casting harsh shadows on his jaw. The air hung thick, jet fuel and tension, a faint buzz threading through from X-17's pulse outside. Close it, he said, voice hollow, nodding to the door. She did, the click sealing them in, her pulse thudding loud in her ears. Security pinged me, Elon said, eyes locked on the tablet, fingers trembling slight as he tapped it alive. A screenshot flared up, green code stark against black. Helioscorp's server, X-17's fake update, thruster sync tweak, uploaded Thursday night. Exact specs I gave Zane, only him. Hit their system yesterday afternoon. Tara's breath caught, the knot snapping tight. So it's him, confirmed. Elon nodded, slow, eyes red-rimmed, a faint sigh escaping as he sank into his chair, the creak sharp in the stillness. Yeah, confirmed. 20 years, Tara, my brother, my anchor. And he's selling me out. She stepped closer, the desk's edge biting her hip, voice low. I'm sorry, Elon. Knew you wouldn't want to believe it. Didn't, he said, voice rough, staring at the screenshot, green lines mocking him. Thought your pics were a fluke, some angle I missed. He had excuses, smooth as hell, recon digging dirt. But this, he tapped the screen, a sharp ping cutting the air. No explaining this. What now? Tara asked, the chair creaking soft as she sat, sand gritty under her boots. Now I face him, Elon said, voice firming, hands clenching tight. No more traps, straight up. He owes me why? He grabbed his phone, texting fast, a faint buzz as it sent. Zane, office now. A reply pinged back, quick, on my way. Minutes dragged. The hangar's hum swelled loud through the glass. X-17's test ticking closer, the crew oblivious below. Zane strode in, toolbox clanging soft against his thigh, grin wide as he pushed the door open with a quick scrape. Hey boss, what's up? His voice rolled easy, boots scuffing casual as he dropped into a chair, legs stretched out. Elon stood, slow, the tablet clutched tight, his shadow cutting sharp across the desk. Close the door, he said, voice low, dangerous. Zane paused, grin flickering, then kicked it shut with a soft thud, watching Elon's back as he turned to the window, sand streaks glinting faint under the lights. Everything okay? Zane asked, leaning forward, a faint edge threading his tone. Elon spun, face calm but eyes burning, red-rimmed and raw. That thruster tweak I showed you Monday, the sync update? Yeah, killer stuff, Zane said, grin flashing quick, hands resting easy on his knees. It's fake, Elon snapped, voice cutting sharp, slamming the tablet down with a hard thunk. Screenshot glowing bright, Helioscorp's server stark on screen. Made it up, told only you. It's here, their system, yesterday afternoon. Zane's grin died, color draining fast, a faint twitch jerking his jaw. I can explain. Can you? Elon's calm cracked, voice rising hot, stepping closer, the desk's edge creaking under his grip. Explain why my best friend, 20 years Zane, sells X-17 to Helioscorp? Why you stabbed me in the back? I had no choice, Zane shouted, surging up, chair scraping loud, hands balling tight. Jonas, he's got dirt, old MIT crap, threatened to bury me. There's always a choice, Elon said, steel back, eyes boring into Zane's. You didn't come to me, you betrayed me, SpaceX, everything we built. Zane paced, short and sharp, boots stomping hard, a faint curse slipping under his breath. You don't get it, Jonas had me pinned. Why? Elon demanded, sliding the tablet across, screenshot glaring, pics stacked beside it, Tara's proof burning bright. After all this, why? Zane stopped, face hardening, voice dropping low. You're the star, Elon, always have been. I'm the grunt, fixing your dreams, no spotlight, no legacy. Jonas offered me something, mine not yours. Elon's breath hitched, a faint crack in his steel, voice breaking soft. I'd have given you anything, asked, and it was yours. Wanted to earn it, Zane snapped, fist slamming the desk with a loud thud, the tablet jumping slight. Not beg for your crumbs. So this is it, Elon said, hollow, stepping back, the hangar's hum swelling loud through the glass. You sell me out for your ego? It wasn't supposed to end like this, Zane muttered, deflating, sinking back into the chair with a faint groan, eyes on the floor, sand gritty under his boots, a storm's echo in the silence. The Nevada test site simmered under a sky gone dull and heavy, the hangar's steel walls groaning faint as a dry wind kicked sand against the dome with a soft patter. Elon Musk stood alone in his office, the sharp thud of Zane Carver's boots still echoing in his skull. 20 minutes since their blowout, the air thick with the stale tang of jet fuel and betrayal, a weight that clung to his jacket like dust. His tablet lay flat on the desk, its glow dimmed, the screenshot of Helioscorp's server, Zane's lie in green code, staring back cold and final. The hangar hummed restless beyond the glass, X-17's engines warming with a low growl, the test ticking closer, but Elon's eyes locked on the window, sand streaks glinting faint under the lights, a desert stretching endless and unforgiving. Zane's last words hung heavy. It wasn't supposed to end like this, his voice rough, deflated, a faint groan as he sank back, hands slack on his knees. Elon had stood there, breath hitching, the crack in his steel widening. 20 years of trust shattered on the desk between them, picks and proof piled high by Tara Hensley's steady hand. "So this is it?" he'd said, hollow, stepping back, the hum swelling loud through the glass. Zane hadn't answered, just stared at the floor, sand gritty under his boots, a storm's echo in the silence. "For your ego." Elon pressed, voice breaking soft, hands clenching tight. "You sell me out, SpaceX Mars, for that?" Zane's face hardened, a faint twitch jerking his jaw. "Jonas offered me a legacy, mine not yours. You're the star, Elon, I'm the shadow. 20 years fixing your dreams, no light for me. I'd have given you anything," Elon said, a faint crack in his calm, stepping closer, the desk creaking under his grip. "Ask Zane, just asked." "Wanted to earn it," Zane snapped, fist slamming down with a loud thud, the tablet jumping slight. "Not beg." The air snapped tight, a beat stretching long. X-17's whine threading sharp through the hum, the crew's shouts faint below. "What happens now?" Zane asked finally, voice low, eyes lifting slow to meet Elon's, red-rimmed, raw, burning with hurt. "Now," Elon said, voice hollow, turning to the window, hands clasped tight behind his back. "Now you're done." He opened the door with a quick scrape, security waiting outside. 2 guards, faces blank, boots scuffing soft on the concrete. 1 hour, grab your stuff. SpaceX gear stays. Zane flinched, a faint hiss escaping his teeth, but nodded slow, rising with a faint groan, toolbox clanging soft against his thigh. "Just like that?" he asked, voice rough, pausing at the threshold. "Did you expect less?" Elon said, steel back, eyes locked on the guards. "You betrayed everything, me, the mission, the crew." Zane stared, a long beat, then turned, boots stomping hard down the hall, the guards trailing close, their steps a steady clomp echoing off the steel. Through the glass, Tara watched, crew heads turning, whispers spreading fast, a ripple cutting the hangar's hum as Zane passed, eyes down, toolbox swinging loose. He hit his workshop, door slamming open with a loud bang, and started packing, wrench clattering loud into the box, manuals shoved rough, a faint curse slipping under his breath. Tara stepped into Elon's office, the door's soft thud sealing her in, the air heavier now. Jet fuel and silence, X-17's growl seeping through. "You okay?" she asked, voice low, leaning on the frame, sand gritty under her boots. Elon shook his head, slow, eyes on the window, X-17's hull glinting cold in the lights. "No, not sure I'll ever be. 20 years, Tara, my brother. And he's gone." She nodded, the chair creaking faint as she sat, tablet buzzing soft in her hand. "Had to be done. He was bleeding us out." "Yeah," Elon said, voice rough, sinking into his seat with a faint groan, hands flat on the desk. "Doesn't make it hurt less." He tapped the tablet, a sharp ping cutting the air. X-17's diagnostics flaring green, steady, the test still alive despite the cut. "He built half this, his hands are all over it." "What's next?" Tara asked, the desk's edge biting her knee, the hangar's hum swelling loud through the glass. Elon stared at the screenshot, Helioscorp's server, Zane's betrayal in code. "Next, we test X-17 flies, no matter what. Then I figure out how to tell the world my best friend stabbed me, and why I'm not fighting back." "Fighting back?" Tara frowned, leaning in, the chair creaking sharp. "He sold us to Helioscorp. Lawsuits, sabotage, you've got ammo." Elon's lips twitched, a faint smile breaking through, tired but sharp. "Revenge is easy, building's hard. I don't have time to hate him. I've got Mars to hit." She nodded slow, the knot in her gut easing slight, his calm a shield, not a surrender. Crews rattled, words spreading fast. "Let it," Elon said, voice firming, standing with a quick scrape of his chair. "They'll see we don't break, tests on, full throttle." He grabbed his jacket, the rustle sharp in the stillness, heading for the platform, boots stomping steady, the tablet buzzing faint in his grip. Outside, the hangar buzzed, crew swarming X-17, the AI's whine threading sharp through the hum as final checks locked in. Elon paced the platform, lanky frame cutting sharp against the hull, his voice a low murmur lost to the noise, eyes glinting wild as the test loomed. Tara trailed him, the wind's dry bite tugging her hair, sand crunching soft underfoot. Zane's shadow gone, but its weight lingered, a ghost in the steel. Friday bled into dusk, the test countdown ticking loud over the comms. T-2 hours. The hangar alive with shouts, clangs, the restless growl of engines primed to roar. Elon stood at the pod's edge, tablet flaring bright, X-17's neural core pulsing green. Zane's betrayal a scar, but not a stop. "He's out," he muttered, half to Tara, half to the wind. a faint sigh escaping as he tapped the screen, syncing the AI's final run. But we're not. Tara nodded, the platform trembling faint under their boots, the desert stretching vast and silent beyond. A red horizon waiting to be cracked, Zane's cut a wound that wouldn't kill the dream. The Nevada test site glowed under a sky gone crimson and jagged, the hangar's steel dome catching the sunset's last flare as a dry wind whipped sand against it with a faint rasp. Elon Musk stood at X-17's launch platform, the sharp clang of a tech's wrench dropping nearby cutting through the hum of warming engines, a restless growl that shook the concrete under his boots. His breath fogged faint in the cooling air, the tang of jet fuel and scorched metal biting sharp in his throat, his tablet buzzing soft in his grip. X-17's neural core pulsing green, the test an hour out. The crew swarmed below, shouts bouncing off the hull, but Elon's eyes locked on the horizon. Red dunes rolling endless, a silent promise Mars still held, Zane Carver's betrayal a fresh scar bleeding quiet in his chest. Friday's cut had ripped fast. Zane escorted out, toolbox clanging loud as guards trailed him. Crew heads turning, whispers spreading like sparks on dry grass. By dusk, the hangar buzzed with it. Zane sold us out. Helioscorp's got X-17. A murmur swelling loud over the comms as X-17's countdown ticked. T-minus 60 minutes. Tara Hensley paced beside Elon, boots scuffing sand, her voice low under the noise. They're rattled, words hit every corner. Losing Zane's one thing, knowing he stabbed us? That's a gut punch. Let it spread, Elon said, voice firm, tapping the tablet, a sharp ping cutting the air as he synced the AI's final run. They'll see we don't crack, tests on, full throttle. His jacket rustled faint as he turned, eyes glinting wild in the platform lights, X-17's hull towering cold behind him. Saturday dawned harsh. News broke beyond the site, tech blogs lighting up first. Musk's top engineer caught selling secrets. Then TV, headlines screaming loud. Betrayal at SpaceX, Elon's right hand busted. Reporters swarmed the gates, satellite trucks jamming the lot, tires grinding sand against asphalt, cameras flashing sharp through the dusk. Social media exploded. Zane Carver fired. Helios Corp leak confirmed. Memes and hot takes piling high. Musk's bromance implodes. The stock dipped 6% by noon, investors barking loud over the wire, a faint buzz threading through Tara's tablet as she fielded calls. No comment from Mr. Musk at this time. Inside, the mood sank. Crew huddled in break rooms, voices hushed over coffee, the clink of mugs sharp against the hum. He mentored me. How's he do this? A young tech muttered, wrench twisting restless in his hand. Should have torched him, lawsuits, the works. Another snapped, boots scuffing hard as he paced. Tara moved through, the air thick with grease and doubt, her jacket gritty with sand as she dodged questions. Elon's on it, focus on the test. But her gut churned, Zane's ghost lingered, a crack in the steel they'd forged. Sunday, the board called an emergency meet. Video screens flaring bright in the conference room, a faint hum threading through as faces blinked on. Stern, suits crisp, eyes hard. Tara sat in, tablet buzzing soft, X-17's test feed glowing green in the corner. How much did Carver leak? Barked Janet Voss, a gray-haired hawk who'd pushed Starlink hard, her voice cutting sharp over the line. What's Helios Corp got? Neural core, thruster sync. Enough to copy if they're fast, Tara said, voice steady, sand crunching faint under her boots as she shifted. Security's locked it down, changed protocols overnight. We need blood, Janet snapped, leaning in, the screen's glow harsh on her jaw. Sue Carver dry, hit Helios Corp for espionage. Miking bleed now. Nods rippled across the grid, a faint murmur swelling loud. Strength, Musk, show it. Tara nodded slow, the chair creaking sharp. I'll pass it on. Test today, he's focused there. Not a suggestion, Janet said, voice steel. Investors are spooked, stocks tanking. He's got to hit back, hard. Monday slammed in, a fresh wave of press, headlines twisting wild. Musk silent, SpaceX in chaos? Helios Corp's CEO, Jonas RYK, dropped a slick denial. No proprietary data received. Carver's a consultant, nothing more. Musk's playing victim. Crew raged in the hangar. Sue the bastard. Their shouts bouncing off X-17's hull as the test ticked closer. T-minus 4 hours. Tara fielded calls, her tablet buzzing nonstop. Investors' press, board barking loud. Statement now. Elon stayed locked in his office, door shut, the faint hum of X-17 seeping through the glass. Tara knocked late, the sharp rap echoing off the steel. Silence, then a faint rustle as he slipped out a back exit, dodging the swarm. Tuesday night, her phone buzzed, his voice sharp through the line. "Tara, press conference tomorrow 2 p.m. Plan?" she asked, the chair creaking faint as she sat, sand gritty under her boots. "Addressing it my way," Elon said, a faint sigh cutting the static. "Tests first. X-17 flies tonight, no matter what." "Board's pushing lawsuits, Carver, Helios Corp," Tara said, voice low, the hangar's hum swelling through her window. T-2 hours. A long pause, his breath rasping faint. "Tell him I've got this, my call." "What's that mean?" she pressed, leaning in, the tablet's glow flaring green. X-17's core steady, test live. "You'll see," he said, hanging up with a faint click, leaving her in the dark, the wind's dry bite tugging her hair as she stepped out, the platform trembling faint underfoot. Test night hit. X-17 towered cold, engines roaring loud, a deep bellow shaking the hangar as the countdown ticked. T-10 minutes. Elon paced the pod, tablet buzzing wild, crew shouting sharp over the noise. Core sync green. Tara stood beside him, sand crunching soft, the air thick with fuel and heat, a restless pulse thudding in her chest. "Flies or flops, Zane's out, but this is us," Elon said, voice firm, eyes glinting wild in the floodlights, red horizon burning bright beyond the dome. Ignition hit, a deafening roar split the night, X-17 surging up, flames licking the pad with a sharp crack, the AI steering clean, a streak of steel and fire piercing the sky. The crew cheered, a loud whoop bouncing off the walls, but Elon stayed quiet, tablet flaring bright, trajectory locked, Mars closer. "He's gone," he muttered, half to Tara, half to the wind, a faint sigh escaping as the ship vanished into the black. "But we're not." Wednesday loomed, press conference set, the world watching, Zane's echo spreading loud. Tara met Elon at dawn, the hangar hushed, X-17's triumph a faint hum in the steel. "They want war," she said, voice low, sand gritty under her boots. "What's your play?" Elon grinned, tired but sharp, eyes on the dome, stars glinting cold through the haze. "Not war, something bigger. You'll see." The Nevada test site shimmered under a sky gone pale and vast, the hangar's steel dome glinting faint as a dry wind hissed sand against its curve with a soft scrape. Elon Musk stood at the edge of the press room, the sharp click of camera shutters cutting through the hum of X-17's cooling systems, a faint echo seeping in from the launch pad where it had roared to life hours ago. A streak of fire piercing the night, Mars closer now. His boots scuffed the concrete, gritty with sand, the air thick with the tang of burnt fuel and static, his jacket rustling faint as he stepped to the podium. Tablet buzzing soft in his grip, crew lining the walls, their breaths held tight. Wednesday morning hit hard, X-17's test a triumph, the AI's clean flight blasting headlines. SpaceX nails autonomous launch, but Zane Carver's betrayal drowned it fast. Musk's engineer leaks secrets, Helios Corp scores. Reporters swarmed the lot, satellite trucks grinding sand into asphalt, flashes popping sharp through the glass. Tara Hensley stood at the room's rear, boots scuffing soft, her tablet glowing green. Test data steady, but her eyes locked on Elon, his lanky frame cutting sharp against the mic, face tired but calm. The board loomed along the wall, Janet Voss's hawk stare burning holes, their murmurs a faint buzz. "Hit back, now." The room packed tight, cameras whirring loud, pens scratching fast, a restless hum swelling as Elon cleared his throat, the mixed faint squeal slicing the air. "I'm here to address Zane Carver," he said, voice steady, eyes sweeping the sea of faces, reporters leaning in, board stiffening sharp. "My partner for 20 years, my friend. He sold X-17's secrets to Helios Corp, betrayed SpaceX, betrayed me." A gasp rippled through, shutters snapping wild. Click, 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 the words landing hard, a thud against the steel walls. "Last night X-17 flew, autonomous, clean, Mars in reach," he said, a faint smile breaking through, tired but sharp. "Zane's gone, fired, cut clean." But that's not the end. The room leaned closer, pens poised, cameras zooming tight, waiting for the explosion, the war cry, the revenge Janet's glare demanded. "I spent 3 days after he left, locked in my workshop, no sleep, just steel and code," Elon said, voice low, raw, the tablet's buzz threading soft under his words. "Built X-17's core again, hands-on alone. Thought about betrayal, about hurt, wanted to crush him, crush Helios Corp." Janet nodded faint, a murmur swelling. "Here it comes." But Tara frowned, the knot in her gut shifting, Elon's calm a shield she couldn't pierce. Then I realized, he said, stepping from the podium, boots scuffing loud closer to the crowd. Every hour on Revenge is an hour off Mars. Every shot at Zane's an engine I don't build. I don't have time for hate. I've got a planet to crack. A hush fell. Pens froze, shutters slowed, the board's faces twisting sharp. What? Elon grinned, faint but wild, eyes glinting in the lights. So today, I'm launching the Starborn Pact. Every SpaceX worker gets a shot to pitch their own missions, build their own dreams here. Zane felt trapped, shadowed, no legacy. He chose wrong, but I won't let anyone else feel that pinch. The room erupted, shouts cutting loud, questions piling fast. No lawsuit? Letting him go? What's the pact? Cameras flashing wild, a storm breaking hard against the steel. A reporter surged up, voice sharp. Mr. Musk, Helioscorp's got your tech. No consequences. We've locked it down. Protocols flipped. X-17s moved past what Zane took. Elon said, voice firm, tapping the tablet. A sharp ping as test data flared bright. They've got scraps, yesterday's news. We're on tomorrow. Another stood, pen stabbing air. No revenge, makes SpaceX look weak. Weak. Elon laughed, a quick bark bouncing off the walls. X-17 flew last night, autonomous, flawless, while they scramble with leftovers. Strengths in the stars, not courtrooms. Janet Voss shifted, arms crossed tight, her whisper cutting sharp to the board. He's lost it. This isn't war. Tara watched, the knot easing. His play wasn't theirs, but it burned true, a pivot no one saw coming. Starborn Pact, how's it work? A young reporter called, voice slicing the chaos. Elon's face lit up, a faint crack in his steel. Anyone tech ops janitor pitches a mission. Approved, they get time, gear, my ear, build it here, share the win. Zane wanted out to shine. I'm keeping the shine in. PR stunt. Another shouted, skeptical, the mic squealing faint. No, Elon said, voice dropping low, raw. It's me learning. Zane's stab showed I've been blind. Focused on my sky, not theirs. This fixes that. The room buzzed, questions piling loud. Talk to Carver? Board on board. Stocks down, care. Shutters snapping wild, a flood breaking loose. Elon held up a hand, the gesture cutting sharp through the noise, silence snapping back. One more, he said, pointing rear. A kid in a hoodie, voice soft. You and Zane friends again? A beat stretched, Elon's eyes dimmed, red-rimmed, a faint sigh escaping as he gripped the podium, the creak loud in the hush. Don't know, he said, slow, raw. Trust's a hard rebuild, takes two. I wish him luck, hope he finds his stars. Me? I've got mine, Mars calls. He stepped back, the mixed faint hum swelling loud as Tara led him out a side door, boots stomping quick. The room exploding behind, shouts and flashes chasing them down the hall. That was nuts, she said, voice low, sand gritty underfoot as they hit his office, the doors thud sealing them in. Elon sank into his chair, a faint groan escaping, tablet buzzing soft on the desk. X-17's flight path glowing green, steady. Wasn't sure till I said it, kept flipping in my head, he said, grinning tired but sharp, eyes on the window, stars glinting cold through the haze. Board's pissed, Tara said, leaning on the frame, the hangar's hum seeping through, crew chatter faint, alive again post-test. Wanted blood, lawsuits ruin. They'll see, Elon said, voice firming, hands flat on the steel. Stock's up 3% since I spoke. Pact's not weakness, it's fuel. And Zane? She asked, the chair creaking faint as she sat, sand crunching soft. Elon stared at the tablet. X-17's arc to Mars, a dream Zane helped forge, now scarred. He's out there, hurting maybe. I don't hate him, can't. Too much history. Tara nodded, slow. The pivot sank in, a shockwave rolling quiet, the world watching Elon's play unfold. Revenge dodged, stars chased, a cut that bled but didn't kill. The Nevada test site sprawled under a sky gone deep and star-strewn. The hangar's steel dome glinting faint as a dry wind hissed sand against its curve with a soft scrape. Elon Musk leaned on the platform railing, the sharp clang of a tech's wrench dropping below cutting through the hum of X-17's cooling systems. A faint growl lingering from its flawless flight 2 nights back, Mars now a whisper closer. His breath fogged faint in the chill, the air thick with the tang of burnt fuel and static, his jacket gritty with sand as he gripped his tablet. Its buzz soft, glowing green with flight data, a triumph Zane Carver's betrayal couldn't kill. The crew worked late, shouts bouncing off the hull, a restless pulse threading through the steel. Something new brewing in the wake of his words. Wednesday's press conference had hit like a shockwave. Musk forgoes revenge, launches Starborn Pact. headlines flipping fast from betrayal to bold. SpaceX bets on crew, not courts. The room's eruption still rang in his skull, shouts piling loud, shutters snapping wild, the board's glares burning holes as he'd stepped back, Tara's boots stomping quick beside him. By dusk, the stock ticked up 4%, investors buzzing faint over the wire. Pax a gamble could work. Social media lit up. Elon's wild, forgiving Carver? Memes and cheers drowning the doubters, a tide shifting swift under the stars. Thursday dawned alive. The hangar buzzed with a new hum, crew huddling over coffee, voices sharp with ideas. Mission to mine Phobos, mech drones. Orbital solar grid, my pitch. Tara paced the floor, boots scuffing sand, her tablet glowing with submissions. Dozens already, raw sketches piling fast in the Pax inbox. They're on fire, she told Elon at noon, the sharp clink of a mug hitting the table cutting her words, the air thick with grease and hope. Zane's cut woke him up. Your play flipped it. Elon nodded, slow, leaning on his office desk. Glass walls humming faint with X-17's echo, sand streaks glinting under the lights. Good, let it burn, he said, voice firm, tapping the tablet, a sharp ping as he scrolled the pitches, eyes glinting wild. He wanted a legacy. I'm giving him all one. The crew took it and ran. Friday, a young tech, Mia Torres, pitched a lunar fuel depot, her voice cutting sharp over the comms. Refuel off moon, cut Mars costs, my math's tight. Elon grinned, faint but sharp, approving it live. Gear's yours, Mia, build it. Saturday, an ops grunt, Raj Patel, dropped a sketch for a DebriNet satellite, the paper rustling loud as he slid it across Tara's desk. Clean's orbit cheap, my shot. Approved by dusk, his whoop bouncing off the steel, crew clapping loud, a spark catching fast. Helios Corp floundered, Jonas RYK's denial unraveling as X-17's flight mocked their scraps. Yesterday's news, Elon had said, and it stuck. Their stock dipped 3%, whispers leaking fast. Fake specs from Carver, useless. Their edge dulled, SpaceX's fire outshining the shadow Zane left. The board softened, Janet Voss's hawk glare easing faint, her voice sharp but curious over video. Pax got legs, stock's up 7% now. Still think Carver's a loose end. Maybe, Elon said, voice low, sand crunching faint under his boots as he paced his office late, the hum seeping through. Crew alive beyond the glass, their shouts threading sharp with purpose. But I'm not chasing him, Mars doesn't wait. Sunday, he locked himself in his workshop, door slamming shut with a loud thud, the air thick with solder and steel, a faint buzz swelling as he tore into X-17's core again, hands on alone. 3 days after Zane's cut, he'd rebuilt it, fingers raw, eyes burning, a shield against the hurt. Now he tweaked it more, code streaming green, a restless hum threading through as he patched Zane's ghost out, piece by piece. Tara knocked late, the sharp rap echoing off the steel. Silence, then a faint rustle as he cracked the door, face tired, jacket smudged with grease. Pax exploding, she said, stepping in, the door's soft thud sealing them, sand gritty underfoot. Crews pitching wild, 20 missions greenlit already. You okay in here? Elon sank into a chair, a faint groan escaping, tablet buzzing soft on the bench, X-17's arc glowing steady. Yeah, just thinking, he said, voice rough, eyes on the window, stars glinting cold through the haze. Zane's stab hit hard, not the leak, the why. 20 years, Tara. Thought I knew him. She nodded, leaning on the bench, the steel cold under her palms. He built this with you. Hard to cut that deep and not bleed. Bleeding's fine, Elon said, grinning faint but sharp, hands flat on his thighs. Just don't want to drown in it, Pax my lifeline. He tapped the tablet, a sharp ping as a new pitch flared up. Asteroid tug, redirect for Mars steel. Eyes glinting wild again. This is why I don't hate him. He forced my eyes open. Crew's got dreams I missed. Still, Tara said, voice low, the hum swelling faint through the walls. Crew chatter alive, a fire catching. You let him walk, no fight. That's it, right? Elon stared at the tablet. X-17's flight path, a scar Zane helped carve, now there's a lone. Doesn't have to sit, I've got work. He's out there, figuring his mess. I'm here, Mars calls. Monday hit, a week since the cut, the hangar a blaze of motion. Crew swarming X-17's pad, tools clanging loud, shouts cutting sharp. Mia's depot mock-ups live. Raj's net, test next week. Tara fielded pitches, her tablet buzzing nonstop. 50 submissions, a flood breaking loose, the Pax spark a roar now. Elon paced the platform, boots stomping steady, the wind's dry bite tugging his hair. Sand crunching soft, X-17's hull glinting cold, a testament Zane couldn't break. Late alone, he climbed the catwalk, steel groaning faint underfoot, the desert stretching vast below, stars burning bright through the dome. His breath rasped harsh, a faint sigh escaping as he leaned on the rail, tablet buzzing soft, packed missions stacking high, a future rolling fast. You want it out, he muttered, half to the wind, half to Zane's ghost, eyes on the red horizon, Mars glinting faint, a promise unbroken. Hope you find it. The fire caught, SpaceX alive, Zane's echo fading, not gone but drowned by the hum of dreams louder than his stab. The Nevada test site lay hushed under a sky gone black and endless, the hangar's steel dome glinting faint as a dry wind moaned sand against its curve with a soft rasp. Elon Musk stood alone on the catwalk, the sharp clank of a text tool dropping below echoing through the stillness, X-17's cooling hull a silent giant in the floodlights. Its flight a triumph, Mars a red speck closer now. His breath rasped faint in the chill, the air thick with the tang of burnt fuel and solder, his jacket gritty with sand as he gripped the rail. Tablet buzzing soft in his pocket, packed missions stacking high, a fire roaring loud below. The crew worked late, shouts threading sharp through the hum. Mia's depot, fuel lines live. Raj's net, launch sim green. Ablaze Zane Carver's betrayal couldn't snuff. 2 weeks since the cut, the Starborn Pact had flipped SpaceX upside down. 60 missions pitched, 30 greenlit, the hangar a chaos of steel and spark. Mock-ups clanging loud, code streaming green, crew voices cutting sharp with purpose. Headlines flipped too. Musk's packed fuel SpaceX surge. Stock up 10%, Helioscorp's scraps mocked. Carver's leak a dud. Jonas RYK's denials faded, their edge dulled. SpaceX's hum drowning the noise. The board eased, Janet Voss's hawk stare softening faint, her voice sharp but warm over video. Pack's a beast, didn't see it coming. Elon grinned, pacing the platform daily, boots stomping steady, sand crunching soft, the wind's dry bite tugging his hair, Mars glinting cold through the dome. But Zane lingered, a ghost in the steel, his stab a scar Elon couldn't sand off. Nights alone, he'd climb the catwalk, railing groaning faint under his grip, stars burning bright, a faint sigh escaping as he traced X-17's arc on his tablet, Zane's hands still etched in its core. Wanted a legacy, he'd mutter, half to the wind, half to that ghost, eyes on the red horizon. Hope you're finding it. The pact burned bright, crew alive, dreams loud, but the cut bled quiet, a debt he couldn't name. Tuesday hit, a package landed on Tara Hensley's desk, no label, just a scrawl. For Elon ZC. She cracked it open, the faint rustle cutting the hangar's hum, a black drive glinting cold, a note taped rough. Your right, earned, not begged. Use this. Tara's gut twisted, boots scuffing fast to Elon's office. The door slamming shut with a loud thud, sand gritty underfoot as she dropped it on his desk with a soft clunk. Zane, she said, voice low, tablet buzzing faint in her hand, packed pitches glowing green. What's he pulling? Elon stared, slow, fingers brushing the drive, a faint hum swelling as he plugged it in, his laptop flaring bright, code streaming green, a neural tweak for X-17, sharp, elegant, sinking thrusters tighter than his own fix. His breath caught, a faint crack in his steel, Zane's work, unmistakable, a piece he'd never sold. It's real, he said, voice rough, tapping fast. A sharp ping as it ran, X-17 sim jumping 8% efficiency. He didn't give M this, kept it back. Why send it? Tara asked, leaning on the frame, the hum seeping through. Crew shouts faint alive. Guilt. Maybe, Elon said, eyes narrowing, a faint grin breaking through, tired but sharp. Or something else. I owe him a call. He grabbed his phone, the buzz cutting the air. Zane's old number, a long shot, ringing faint through static. A click, then silence, then a rough bark. Yeah. Zane, Elon said, voice steady, sand crunching faint as he paced. Got your package, tweaks gold. Why? A beat stretched, Zane's breath rasping harsh, a faint wind howling through his line, somewhere desert close. You let me walk, no war, no ruin, he said, voice low, raw. Didn't expect that, hit harder than a fight. This is me squaring it, my work, not theirs. Elon nodded, slow, the tablet buzzing soft. X-17 sim flaring brighter with Zane's fix. Still doesn't tell me why, 20 years, man. What flipped you? Zane laughed, a quick bark fading fast. Jonas had dirt, MIT 98. I hacked a prof's grant, funneled cash, dumb kid stuff. He'd bury me jail, name torched. Offered a clean slate, my own gig, shone too bright, I bit. Could have told me. Elon said, voice breaking faint, leaning on the desk, the steel cold under his palms. I'd have fixed it. Didn't want your fix, Zane snapped, a faint thud cutting his words, toolbox dropping maybe. Wanted mine, earned not handed. Screwed it up. Sorry don't cut it, but this might. Elon stared at the drive, green code mocking him, a debt surfacing sharp. 98, he said, slow, raw, a memory cracking loose. That grant, I tanked it too. Fried the server rushing my sim. Your hack got blamed, I walked. Owed you since, never said it. Zane's breath hitched, a faint curse slipping low. You're kidding, been hauling that guilt 25 years? Yeah, Elon said, grinning faint, eyes on the window, stars glinting cold. Guess we're even, your tweaks in X, 17 now. A long pause, Zane's wind howling louder, a faint sigh cutting through. Even, huh? What's that make us? Not friends, Elon said, voice firm but soft, sand crunching faint as he turned. Not yet, trusts a rebuild. But I've got a deal, meet me. Thursday night, a dusty diner off I-80. Rain tapping the tin roof with a soft patter, neon buzzing faint in the lot. Zane sat across, craggy face lit dim, toolbox at his feet, rusted Harley parked outside, dripping wet. Elon slid a folder over, the rustle sharp, X-17's real core, untainted, a blueprint glowing green. Take it, he said, voice low, coffee clinking faint as he set it down. Build something, your gig, not mine. No punishment, freedom. Zane stared, slow, fingers brushing the folder. A faint hum swelling as he flipped it, eyes widening sharp. Why? 98, Elon said, voice rough, rain drumming loud. You rebuilt my sim, gave me the fix that launched this. I've owed you, now we're square. Zane nodded, slow, a faint grin breaking through, tired, cracked. Even, Elon said, leaning back, the chair creaking faint, stars glinting cold through the window, Mars burning faint. Make it worthy. They parted, Zane with the folder, boots stomping wet to his bike, Elon back to SpaceX, the pact blazing loud. New missions stacking high, crew alive, a bridge growing slow. Not friendship, but respect, forged from betrayal, forgiveness, a debt repaid under a rainy sky.